Hey guys, this is Jamie, welcome back to my channel. Because it's Pride Month, I'm going to emphasize on how much I dislike certain aspects of my community and specifically a few issues I have, which is pretty much what this channel is based on, but regardless. So I really wanted to address that obviously, despite trans guys being a community in general, I feel like a lot of specifically straight trans guys or trans guys who are in a relationship with cishet women or women in general, I feel like sometimes they really play it up as if they're better than the rest. They state things like, oh, I don't want to be part of the LGBT community, even though he's a massive part of the LGBT community. And I understand that not everyone wants to be in the community per se. Like, I was even talking to my partner and we decided that we won't go to Pride, for instance. But at the same time, I've been thinking, well, maybe we should go to Pride, maybe we shouldn't. But I still feel like I do my part of activism when it comes to throughout the year. I do videos. I'm an admin on the Discord, and I just feel like I still do certain representation. So Pride doesn't feel like the thing I'm missing to do. Uh, well, when it comes to straight trans guys, or again trans guys who are in a relationship with a woman, bi or queer, because I've also basically I've seen a lot of them specifically, and they're more like classic mask and etc. They really sort of, and at the same time, they really kind of butcher the fact that gender roles are dead. We shouldn't conform to gender roles, and then it's like he dresses like a lumberjack, and is very very cis passing, and nothing wrong with that. With his girlfriend, and says stuff like gender roles are dead, break the mold. Or like, for instance, there's obviously like brands in the past which are problematic in my eyes, like Flavins, with their whole like sticking to one image of a trans guy. So it really feels like when they say those things, I'm just gonna be upfront. Like, it feels sometimes even worse than True Scum, because usually those guys fall into certain holes which I deem problematic. Like, there's a lot of factually straight trans guys who say, oh no, but I'm in a queer relationship because I came out of the lesbian community, I identified as a lesbian, etc. And they don't let go of those lesbian roots. So then they start identifying as queer, then while just dating women and feeling that their relationship is queer in a way. So you have one extreme where they don't want anything with the community, and you have the other where they do want something with the community, but in this weird, twisted turf way. And I don't know, and specific about the gender roles, like I really try to understand, like, okay, so you literally do everything which you're expected from the gender role part with your partner, who's usually a woman, cis as well, and there is nothing groundbreaking besides the fact that usually they are the biggest opposers of phallo. So I find that weird. And in general, so it's like gender roles are dead, you need to accept all parts of men, but usually it's just the same skinny, average, straight guy who pretty much just doesn't want phallo. And I feel like people don't discuss this enough, but like for some reason this whole division about like should we get follow, should we not get follow, it becomes a sort of like very topical issue in the trans man community. And in the end you have people who say follow is gross, I'm never getting follow is useless. And at the end of the day, it just ends up dividing us. And I understand that in my video, obviously, I'm criticizing. So it is a bit hypocritical of me, but I do want to say that I understand what I'm doing with this video. And specifically the harm which causes to guys who do want follow. And I also wanted to say that, sure, we're now in a time where guys discuss follow way more openly. We have not been in that like for years and years, really. Because I remember when to get follow results, you'd have to go to Transbucket. You'd have to pass really weird questions on Facebook groups, and now it's thankfully not the case. But we still have this sort of a lot of hatred for follow. There's a lot of discussions of like, yeah, well, what if my girlfriend or like my future girlfriend will like a real dick, more as if follow isn't a real dick. So you have all this insecurity. And it also like makes me question, because I used to be, back in my problematic days or whatever, I did feel like straight trans people were a bit of a sort of in an awkward position, because they didn't really identify with gay people, like gay trans people as well. And now with everything, I just feel like there's a lot of homophobia when it comes from straight trans guys. And a lot of them don't understand follow, or if they come from lesbian communities, they don't even want follow. And like I was even talking to a friend of mine who's transmasc, and like I understand that the mistranslation in Portuguese cut me off, but saying stuff like, yeah, I'm not interested, or it was some sort of like really harsh brush up if to translate it word by word into English. And then I spoke to my partner, and he was like, no, it's actually like, that's just a normal Portuguese expression. And it still got me thinking that people are really, really against follow. And because it's something I want to do, and something that is in my future, I'd even dare to say kind of nearish, it does make me really anxious, because I don't know that many guys who go through it. I don't know that many guys who will be going at the same time as I'm doing it. Because everyone is just like, yeah, follow is not for me, or follow is bad, and etc. Well, when it comes to top surgery, it's kind of like up to the point that I remember I knew the Swedish guy, and he was like, I had that surgery, and this surgery was referring to top surgery. And sure, he was in Sweden. Sweden's much more complicated with healthcare and everything. But we shouldn't really be brushing off follow so easily. And specifically, when you say gender roles are dead, when you really just want to exist without follow, and that's ultimately what you want people to perceive, I don't think you even understand what gender roles are. And since we're going into gender roles, I mean, I don't even know what they say. I don't even know, like, I just see them, like, wearing those shirts. And I remember back in the day, I used to be, like, in a kid group where I met, like, a few friends which I still talk to. And everyone was very passionate about gender roles are dead. And I was like, well, okay. And at the end of the day, it just makes me really question, like, why are we going with a slogan which we don't even know what it means or what it stands for? Like, and there's this very, very strong hatred towards, like, cis-het guys. And at the same time, I just feel like when it comes to straight guys, there actually isn't a division whether you're trans or cis. You're still a straight asshole at times, you know? So yeah, those are just like my few cents on hating straight people for pride. But all in all, I don't want to say that I actively hate straight trans guys or anything. I just feel like for some reason some of them are too attached to the lesbian community, some of them are too detached from the trans community. And it's an interesting dynamic discussion. And the same thing we can say, yeah, Jamie, but you're more about the gay community rather than the trans one. And I would say yes, but when it comes to YouTube, I talk more about trans issues. Really, I really do, unfortunately. Even though I'm much more open about my gay side in life. So yeah, thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please subscribe. I swear to God, you'll just see my face pop in, like, on your YouTube notifications or whatever you want to call it, on their YouTube front page, like, maybe once a week, because that's when I post a video. And it'll make my day better. And maybe I'll get close to monetization. Also, like, and all that stuff.